Hi, I'm Delise from FuseIT. It seems everyone is talking about integrating Sitecore with Salesforce. We'd like to think FuseIT played a big part in causing all this excitement. After all, we've been promoting the benefits since 2009. But realistically, it is more likely because of the partnership between Sitecore and the Salesforce Marketing Cloud team announced in October 2017. In a moment, I will be talking about the key products that integrate Sitecore and Salesforce. But first, let's look at the key players. In this space, there are three very important systems that every serious business should have. The customer journey usually begins with Sitecore, so let's start there. Sitecore make enterprise websites that captivate visitors by personalizing their browsing experience. This makes Sitecore websites more interesting and encourages visitors to complete a lead form. After completing and submitting a Sitecore web form, it makes sense to create a new lead in Salesforce where the sales team can work their magic. Being a CRM, Salesforce tracks the stages through the sales process as the prospect is progressed into a customer. The third system is Salesforce Marketing Cloud, which automates interactions, usually emails, between your business and your prospects or customers. Salesforce Marketing Cloud is not part of this comparison, but I'm mentioning it as it is owned by Salesforce and there are Sitecore integrations with it. To be clear, Salesforce Marketing Cloud is not Salesforce CRM. They are two independent systems with different purposes. There are two direct integrations between Sitecore and Salesforce Marketing Cloud, one from Sitecore and the other from FuseIT. They have very different features, but this presentation is not about these. We are more interested in the Sitecore to Salesforce connectors and integrations. Let's look at these individually. The most commonly used integrations are web to lead and web to case. They are both implemented by adding JavaScript to your web form. The more common web to lead script captures the web form field values and creates a new Salesforce lead with the values inserted into the matching field names. As you would expect with a free tool, it has a number of challenges which need to be overcome. Firstly, it has not been built to work with Sitecore, so developers will need to engineer how it is used. The implementation can only create leads and cases. It is not possible to create contacts, which is a common requirement. Web to lead only pushes form data to Salesforce. It cannot read Salesforce and bring data back to Sitecore. When web to lead creates a new lead, it does not care an identical lead already exists and will happily create a duplicate in Salesforce. No out-of-the-box features are included, like a mapping wizard or the ability to extend the functionality. Although not a severe security risk, web to lead does expose the Salesforce org ID. Any visitor can see this if they view the web page source in their browser. Leads are lost if a submitted email address or phone number does not fit the standard format in Salesforce, so form validation is important. The same applies if the required fields in Salesforce are populated by the web form. Web to lead only allows 500 web form submissions in a 24-hour period. Information about the implementation can easily be found on the web, but no support is provided. Let's look at Sitecore's offering in this space. Sitecore Connect for Salesforce CRM is a tool which helps developers sync data between Salesforce and Sitecore X Connect, thereby accessing the XDB Analytics database. It is also possible to sync between Salesforce and the Sitecore content databases. Simple filtering is possible to control the volume of content that is replicated. And of course, the data may be synced in both directions. The tool uses Sitecore's Generic Data Exchange Framework, or DEF, to perform the extract, transform, and load functions. The endpoint mappings for both Sitecore and Salesforce are specified in the Sitecore tree, so changing the endpoints does not require developer effort or a website restart. Being a Sitecore tool, it should be supported and upgraded to track future Sitecore releases. As expected, errors are reported in the Sitecore log file. Because the tool can sync, Salesforce campaigns to Sitecore lists, it is useful for businesses using Sitecore EXM for email automation. On the negative side, the tool has some concerns. Sitecore Connect for Salesforce CRM does not provide out-of-the-box features. Once the endpoints have been configured and the sync is operational, features will need to be developed to process the imported data. The data exchange framework is comprised of several packages which need to be aligned with the Sitecore version du jour. It is not a simple install. Before using Sitecore Connect for Salesforce CRM, you should also consider if syncing meets your needs. Because data syncing is usually invisible to the end users, it is not possible to verify the accuracy of the data at any given time. Sometimes the data is needed immediately. For example, when creating Salesforce leads from Sitecore forms, waiting for a scheduled sync is not ideal. One challenge of syncing is getting the data volumes right without inundating your systems with unwanted data. Applying the wrong filters can easily bloat XDB or Salesforce with unnecessary data. Once the data has been imported, it is often difficult to remove. Accessing and updating large numbers of XDB records via the XConnect API will impact the performance of the host server. You must perform load testing against a Salesforce sandbox before deploying Sitecore Connect for Salesforce CRM. Talk to Sitecore about the fees for new versions of Sitecore Connect for Salesforce CRM. Next up is FuseIT's S4S integration. S4S is a battle-hardened enterprise integration used by the likes of American Express, United Health Group, Unum, and Stanley Black & Decker. S4S was first released in 2009 as a tool to help Sitecore developers work with Salesforce. S4S has been relentlessly improved and now has a comprehensive list of powerful features. The key differentiator is S4S works in real time and favours Salesforce as a single source of data rather than replicating data in both systems. Modern network bandwidth between Sitecore servers and Salesforce cloud data centers are such that the access times are trivial, making data syncing unnecessary and overly complex. Looking at the strengths, S4S pushes and pulls data to and from Salesforce in real time, so users may be sure they have the up-to-the-minute data and there is no need to wait for a sync. Over the years, connection gotchas have been resolved, such as making sure Sitecore is not impacted during a Salesforce maintenance period. The enterprise ability to scale and handle large volumes of data has been a priority since day one, with S4S built by developers certified in both Sitecore and Salesforce. FuseIT has a large customer base and provides support and upgrade paths for each new Sitecore release. Salesforce custom objects and fields are easily accessed as either strongly typed objects or their string name. S4S works with all Salesforce orgs which have API access, including all sandbox types. The Salesforce Partner API is optimized for large datasets and has some other advantages over using the REST API. One of the challenges to developers wanting to write customizations is finding code examples and snippets. S4S comes with a fully built starter kit with implementation code examples. This is in addition to the online help and support available from the FuseIT team. S4S has comprehensive and granular logging to ensure errors are reported to the Sitecore log. Having a local copy of Salesforce records can be a lifesaver as Salesforce becomes unavailable for any reason. The Data Exporter utility automates the transfer of Salesforce data export zip files to a local network drive. Once the scheduler is set up, it regularly updates your backups with the latest snapshot of Salesforce data. S4S includes many out-of-the-box features built on top of a robust connection engine. These include a list builder to create Sitecore lists from Salesforce reports and campaigns, and an optional S4S XEM module to extend Sitecore analytics into Salesforce. An out-of-the-box advanced mapping wizard lets editors quickly map Sitecore web forms to any Salesforce object. Included in the wizard is an option to push Sitecore Analytics to receiver fields in Salesforce where the sales team can then use this information to improve conversion rates. The sales team may also customize their prospect's website experience by controlling Sitecore personalization, all from Salesforce. Another popular S4S feature enables privileged customers, staff, partners, or affiliates to access special web pages not visible to the public. Sitecore visitors may log into these portal pages with a username and password stored in their Salesforce contact record. The sales team may determine the content displayed by setting the Sitecore role, again, from within Salesforce. So let's look at what S4S does not do well. Despite S4S favouring a single source of truth, this is not the case with analytics. Sitecore performance requires the analytics database, or XDB, be highly available, and having it only in Salesforce simply would not work. To work around this, S4S needs to replicate the important analytics in Salesforce lead or contact records. Every use case is not an out-of-the-box feature. In some cases, developer effort will be required to implement fringe functionality. S4S has both subscription and perpetual licensing models. Let's see how some of the out-of-the-box features work together after the arrival of a first-time visitor on a Sitecore website. As a visitor meanders around the website, they reveal where their interests lie. The behavioural data is tracked and saved by Sitecore in its experience database. An objective of most websites is to entice visitors to complete a lead form. Website administrators can easily create a Sitecore form and use the S4S mapping wizard to map it to a Salesforce entity like a lead or contact. This process can take as little as 10 minutes. When a visitor submits a web form, a new record is created in Salesforce, except in cases where key fields are matched, usually the email address. An existing record may be updated. In our example, we are creating a lead. During the form mapping process, a save action is chosen. If the chosen action is a push visitor action, the new lead in Salesforce will include not only the form data, but the full details of the visitor's navigational behavior on the website. The sort of data that is surfaced in Salesforce includes Sitecore goals, profile cards and values, page history, and much more. Armed with this information, the sales team can make a sales call with great confidence. They have the web behavioural insights that will allow them to research and prepare for the sales call. During the sales call, the salesperson will learn new information about the visitor, and it often makes sense to re-personalise the website to match this new information. For example, if the salesperson has been able to interest the lead in a higher value product, they can update their Salesforce record, and this will re-personalise the website so it focuses more on the new product. S4S offers a full range of Sitecore personalisation options that include rules-based implicit and explicit personalisation. S4S works in real time, so both live and returning visitors can have their browsing experience changed to better target their needs. By exposing the behaviour of website visitors in Salesforce, S4S significantly improves the conversion rate. Customers using S4S in this way have reported an increase in sales of between 3 and 20%. When should you use S4S? When proven enterprise performance and reliability is important. If extensive installation and support help is important. When you need turnkey functionality or need to minimize developer effort. If you use Sitecore web forms and need to push the data to Salesforce leads or contacts. If you need to empower your sales team with Sitecore Analytics in Salesforce. Use S4S when needing to personalize Sitecore from Salesforce. When real-time data exchange is important, and it usually is. If your customer data needs to be complete, relevant, accurate, timely, and accessible. Using Salesforce as a single source of truth is the best way to achieve this. If you would like to have staff log into a Sitecore portal to access Salesforce data, or have customers log in to see special offers. When you need to import Salesforce campaigns and reports for use with Sitecore EXM, or push Sitecore email analytics so they become visible in Salesforce. Thank you for your time. We trust you have found our presentation helpful. If you need to learn more about these technologies, please contact us. We are happy to schedule a live demo of how S4S can benefit your company and implement your use cases.